Hey, what's going on? Rob from Boulevard Sound. We're having a break from the studio and the beats, and we're going to cook some food in the kitchen instead. But we are going to be cooking some dishes from all over the world, some mystical ones that are a little bit hard to do sometimes. But we're going to start with my hometown dish, Neapolitan Ragu. So stay tuned, and it's going to be good. Yum. Okay, so first step is frying up the meat involved, and with the ragu, it's very common practice to mix and match a bit of pork, different cuts from pork and beef. So as you can see, you can do whatever you like, honestly, but with this one, to give you an idea, I've got some pork spare ribs, beef spare ribs, an Italian style unspiced sausage, we got some veal, and we have an oyster blade, just for good measure. And we also have some pork rind over here, which we'll be rolling up some parmesan, some pancetta, and yeah, I think that's about it in there for today. And then we'll be frying this up in a bit of lard and olive oil, and then we'll go through to the next step. But that's how you start it off. Okay, so first part of the process is to prepare the pork rind. So roll it out. If I didn't give it to you rolled, whatever, just put it down. And then you want to get some pancetta over here that I just found on the table, and cover the surface area of the pork rind as the best to your ability, and then it should be good. So just keep doing that, and then doesn't have to look magnificent, it's just to flavor anyway. And then you get some parmesan, and then you just sprinkle it on. Look at that, juicy. And you just make it look beautiful. Just chuck it all on. I'm loving this. Okay, so put the rest on like that. Very nice. Then you want to go ahead and put in some parsley, as they call it in English, parsley. And spread it out as evenly as possibly capably can. And then get some pepper from your local grocery store and just chuck it on. This is my favourite part of the whole process. I love it. Now don't put too much. Too much of anything is bad. So anyway. Okay, now that the pork rind is officially prepared, we can, do the rest, finish it off basically. So you just gotta roll it up. Just heard some funny noises anyway. Roll it up all the way. Now, the traditional peoples of this food generally tie it up with like a rope type of thing that I don't know where the hell they get the ropes from, but out here where we live in the West in Melbourne, we just use these sticks, and we pierce it through. So you just grab a couple, and just shove it through if you can. It's hard. Okay, so our traditional style of securing meat did not work. So we have managed to scrounge around for some steel wire. So we're going to wrap up this prepared rind in this lovely wire. Now the wire looks so good and juicy. It just makes the rind look great. So let's hope this works, because honestly I have no idea. But check it out. Not bad. And I'll just squish this over like that, just in case. Not bad, man. Alright, so next bit we're gonna fry this stuff up, man. That's how it goes. Alright, so the first thing we're gonna do is start with the animal fats and some olive oil and the meat. So off we go and add the lard into the pot. Oh, in you go, and it should melt pretty quick. And then you just slap them in, if you know what I mean. Oh wait, let it melt a little bit. Okay, let's do it. Now the goal here is to actually caramelize all the meats. Oh, cool. Yes. So just cut them all in. Yeah. Get the rind in there. It's getting pretty ridiculous, but this is how it's done. Alright, meat's in now. We're going to spray in olive oil. Just spray it. Yep, pretty good. Alright, beauty. And what we're going to do is we're going to let that sizzle, and you're going to make sure that every bit gets a nice black brown sort of crust, and that will basically seal in the tenderness of the meat throughout the long cooking process. Alright, we got her out. Nice. Alright, so this is looking pretty promising. I'll get that on the bottom. I mean, it's a pretty rough job, but this is what you do for flavour, guys. It's the real deal. Okay, so next step, guys, meat's about done, so we're going to add some onion. That's half a very big onion, or you can go a whole onion if it's not that big. And we've got a couple of roughly smashed garlics and some fresh basil from a very good friend of mine from the plains of Kazakhstan. You must use Kazakhstani basil, or you can basically throw this dish in the bin. These have flowers on them as well, so no, I'm joking. Just use any basil you like. Alright guys, so as you can see, we're pretty much done here. We've roasted all sides, all the meats. All the meats have had a chance to get a bit of roasting, so we're looking good. Now what we want to do is down the bottom, you see a bit of burnt action, don't worry about that, it's all good. Part of the flavours. Now we're going to throw in the onion and garlic. In she goes. Garlic as well. Tuck her in there, right on that little spot at the bottom. And maybe just turn down the heat, attenuate the heat, should I say, in the producer term, just a notch. And let that sizzle away, you know. And then what we're going to do is, same goes on the basil. Beauty. That's already smelling pretty slick. Now, I think there's no argument here, mate. This is going straight down me gob. Okay guys, so onions looking pretty good. You basically just want to get it a little bit aromatic. You don't want to go crazy. We're looking pretty good. Basil's reduced a little bit, and we're ready to throw in some red wine. Now, what we're doing today is we're going to be going with I prefer some sweeter wine, some classic Australian crafted yellowtail, straight off the back of the Kanga. So she's going in, don't be shy. Basically, that's it, yeah. And cool. Now, that's looking pretty good. Turn the heat up again. We want to fry this, not boil it, to the best of your ability. Fiery. Okay, so one's in officially. Now you can see it's starting to get a bit boily down there, so You want to keep going till the wine's basically almost completely reduced, and then after that we'll be adding in the tomato paste concentrate, which will provide us the rich tomatoey flavour to this just dish. Alright guys, so the wine's looking pretty reduced. We're getting pretty close now. See, it's getting pretty fry-y. Oh, it's smelling great and it's looking great. Mate, I'm pretty stoked that this is how it's coming along. Let's pull this out of it. It's just bloody juicy. I'm telling you, it smells as good as it looks. Alright, so what we're going to do now, we've got a whole tin, sort of those small tins of tomato paste. So just whack it in. We're good to go. Now, if you can't get it all out, you use one of those trusty tools. Put it all in there. And we're going to just start mixing it in a bit. Give it a nice coating of tomato paste. She's looking pretty good. So we're going to do the next step now. This is the ultimate step. This is the cream of the cream, the sauce of the sauce. We're going to get a bottle of passata. I might add a second one depending on how much volume I take up. But here we go. In she goes. It's really that simple. Can you do this? Does this ever happen to you? Anyway, so what next step is you're going to come here and we're going to fill this up to the top, basically. Equal parts water. My mum always said cold water. So, get the pesto barattolo happening. And then, it's too foamy. Yeah, that looks good. Then you throw her in. And yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go half a bottle. Let's go half a bottle. And then another half a bottle of water. Now we're talking. So basically you just want to kind of, fill up the thingo and then give it a good stereo. Try not to move the rind too much because I kind of broke it. You know how it is. Gotta just work with the measures. Just gotta make shit up on the spot as you go. That's how life works, really. You're just born and then you just do it.
Moist juices.
Okay, so we're getting mixed dough here. Just making words up. Alright. That's looking good. Alright, so drown it. Just drown. Okay, so guys, what you want to do is you want to keep the heat kind of high till it starts kind of boiling, and as you can see, we're starting to get a bit of bubblage, and things are starting to get a little bit more serious. Just less happy, more serious, and just more frowny, really. But things are just happening, really. So you just dunk it. I play with my food. So now we've got it down to a nice magma level, and you keep it like this for the next 8 hours, and that's just how it goes. You have to cook it a good for 8 hours, and halfway through, at the 4 hour period, you take out the meat, you put it on the side, and you let the rest of the sauce cook for the next 4 hours. And that's how it's done. So it's pretty easy. And now that we do have it at this stage, we shall be adding a nice punch of salt. Just punch it in there. Oh, my hand! How? Okay, so put it in. That looks decent. All right. Cool. And don't forget, guys, you want to stir it every so often. Just guess. Make sure the meat doesn't stick to the bottom. Okay guys, we're halfway there. It's like about 8 o'clock now, so we're going to start off by taking out some of the meat now. So you want to start off with the softest cuts first. So I don't know, start off with the ribs. I guess the meat on there is pretty soft. So take those out. And you know, we're going to start seeing some pretty nice looking sauce. Okay, so we difficultly got the meat out eventually, and it's all here, and I even managed to keep most of the stuffing inside the pork rind. So yeah, that's looking great. But anyway, if we come a little bit closer to the sauce, this is what's left. So we're going to leave this here for another 4 hours to just still simmer down in the lava formation. Maybe we've got to bump this up just a notch. You want it bubbling a little bit, but not much. Maybe a bit more than this. I'll heat it up just a little bit, just so you guys have a good idea what it should look like. Okay, so come a bit closer. Something like this. You want it to look something like that. You know, just bubbling really lightly for the next 4 hours. So as you can see, we're about done, but just taking another little shot of meat after it's cooled down a bit, and it smells amazing. But anyway, let's move over to the sauce, and there you go. It's looking pretty good. So that's done. That's past 8 hours. It's midnight now, and it's turned into the lava that we want it to turn into. So we can turn that off safely and drag it over. Alright, let's pour it in. Alright guys, so last step basically, we're going to pour this in. Put it back in with the meat. Oh, it's still hot. Alright, we're going to skip the rest of it out, but what we're going to do now guys is we're basically going to leave that overnight, let the juices soak in, and Sunday morning, well it's Sunday now, but Sunday night we're going to consume this. Alright guys, so that's wrapped up. So you can cook this with any pasta you like. I'm going to have mine with rigatoni. Yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for the next video. Who knows where we'll be next time.